the kids running the cameras can talk to the people running the programming very easily. And our two systems are very similar, so it wasn't a totally new thing to learn. But this is our up with how many times we've played each commercial, and keeps up with our tally sheet so that we know we played the commercials the right number of times, and we know.
Thank you. You may be seated. Let's all have a great day and a good weekend.
And we have, like I said, 3 adults. Now, our 3 adults are paid. That is, our athletic director insisted that we're just paid for each game we play. We work. We have a director, a producer, and a field director. So there's 2 adults in this room. One of us runs back and forth a lot. And then there's 1 adult on the field at all times with the kids. And when I say the field, I mean we have a field camera, and then we have 2 cameras that are mounted in the stands. And so I was always the field director because I'm a big football fan, and so I wanted to watch the game. And I spent a lot of time going up and down in the stadium, getting to the right places. But our kids did an awesome job.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was monitored.
Yeah, just monitored. They did a really, really good job. Now, towards the end, they got kind of tired and bored with it. And not to mention the fact, on Saturdays, we also had TVCC games. I don't know if y'all have a college or anything in Pine Tree that uses your field on Saturdays.
We're brand new.
We're opening a new stadium.
Oh, so you may have some people coming in doing that.
Right.
When we had people, when you had a playoff game, or for the college games, we did pay our kids. And it came out of our athletic budget. Okay. Because that's who paid the school to use the stadium. Right. So we sat down and had a meeting, and we set up a plan for every game.
Kind of how much everybody,
how much everybody got paid for each game, whether it was a playoff game or a TVCC game, and how that worked.
I like it.
It went really well.
CTE director, do you see that as a pathway for a career?
The Arts AV, yes.
Yeah. Is
yes,
that how you
definitely.
build it?
Yes, that's how we build it. Any of our kids that are interested in going into audiovisual production, or even journalism or anything like that, we've tried to build in. The plan is to make it more like a journalism, where after the game you interview them, and then we have monitors throughout the hallways here, and then we just put 4 monitors up in our main building. And like on Monday morning, play those interviews between classes and stuff so that kids can see what the guys said after the game. Eventually we're going to get it there. This year was kind of a slow start.
Absolutely.
But that's the plan. That's what we've had as a logic in the past. And like I said, I'm going out of education. I got a real unexpected, really good job offer, and so
I'm saying what? That sounds fun.
I'm going to be the vice president of marketing for an ag-related firm, and I'm not actually getting announced to my board until the 16th of this month. So I'm not supposed to say who I'm going to work for until the 16th of the month. But it's vice president of marketing, and my region is going to be the Texas, Arkansas, and Oklahoma region. And hopefully, if things go well next year, I'll have a couple of assistants. I don't have to travel quite so much. So.
Briefly, I will just say, a couple of years ago, I was seduced by the dark side, and the robotics company hired me to travel the world and teach people to use their robots.
Yeah.
I'm standing in Tokyo when the stock market crashed, and I'm wondering if my credit card's going to get me home.
Yeah.
And then the company I was with went into free fall.
Yeah.
And now I'm back into education.
Well, and that's my. I have a composite.
They paid me really well.
I have a composite science degree, and if I don't like it or if it doesn't work out, I can get a job anywhere in the state of Texas. I'm not worried about it. But I thought, I'm gonna try this.
Yeah. No, I thought the same thing. It's like, okay, let's go. This will be an interesting thing to do.
Yeah, and it'll be fun. It'll be interesting.
6 months later, when you're standing in Tokyo and the
Tokyo.
Arkansas.
When you're stuck in Arkansas and you don't speak the language.
That's right. That's so true.
Well, I'm going to try to see how it goes.
You can't even yell for help in their language.
Yeah, no. So I'm going to try to see how it goes. But that's my background. I got an ag degree. I'm ag certified. I'm composite science certified. I've got my principal certification.
You can have any
job
you want.
So I can get a job. I'm not worried about it. I'm going to try. My husband says I have to try for 2 years. He said you can't just give it a year.
That's
you
true.
have to give it 2.
Yeah.
My employer, who I've known since I was 6 months old, says he wants me to give it 5 years. He told me I have to give it 5, and I said, y'all just hang on there, buddies. Let me make the plans here.
That's funny.
I want to harken back to a couple of your earlier statements, because a font of information I'm getting.
Yes.
One, we don't want to make undue demands on your time, so when do we have to turn into pumpkins here and leave?
Oh, we don't have to. My classes, I have a class of 12 juniors and seniors that are sitting calmly and quietly in my room. They're good.
Okay.
Now, the next class that comes in is a class of 35, so they may not sit calmly and quietly.
What time is that?
That's at 11:30.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So I hope that we don't make that much.
And if you do, then it's not a problem because there's about 2 of them I can sit in there and say, give me your names. And they
Okay.
give me names. And
Well, we
they
don't, yeah, well, we
So,
can,
it's
what
all
time is it
good.
now?
It's,
5 to 11.
yeah.
Okay, till 11.
It's
Okay.
Sounds good.
You obviously had discussions about paying or not paying
Yes.
the students who have the responsibility of being here and making it happen. Can you tell us about those discussions? Because I'm of the mind that if we're going to expect our students to show up and work, be prepared and work, and not get the glory of I'm on the team, they should be paid.
And that, I'll be very honest, that was the idea behind our athletic director thought. Our athletic director wanted to pay the kids for every game. But our trainers don't get that. They do the work, they haul water, and they don't get any credit or any fame from that, and we don't pay them. And I didn't know how UIL would look at us paying a student to be at and work at a home game. But I was of the mind that all of our students that work for us during the day, they build stuff in the shop, they produce computer programs, our culinary arts department caters constantly. They don't get paid. Now we do give them community service hours. We do give them credit outside of class, for outside of class credit hours. We do keep up with all of that, and they can actually work off their class fees in culinary arts, which next year this class is going to have a class fee also, and so they would be able to work off their class fee. But
That's a really good
so-
idea.
Wonder
a credit system.
if they earned money towards a scholarship.
Or
No,
some
that
credit
might-
system.
Okay.
And
yeah.
that can be a discussion that your school district can have. And I'll be honest,
like
I
it.
was the
I
one
like
that
it.
said I don't want them paid because
Okay.
I didn't want them to feel like I wanted them to feel like it was part of the class. It was part of the learning process. It was part of what they were going to be doing anyway. And we honestly,
Well,
not
it's
paying
like-
them, did not have. We had kids lined up.
Honestly, that
They
makes
were-
sense to me because it's, whether you're signing a paper project or a video project, what is the difference,
Yes.
really? Now, at the hours that you put into the project are outside school time, that makes sense to me.
As being an ag teacher, it kind of makes sense to me because everything we do outside of our classroom, we
In
don't really get paid for.
agriculture,
It's
yeah.
a lot of stuff. So,
Caring for an animal.
but now I'll be honest. Our athletic director wanted to pay our kids for Friday nights, and I said, "So do you pay your trainers?" And that's when he goes, "Good point. I don't pay my trainers." And I said, "Okay, if you don't pay your trainers, why should you pay the kids that are videoing
How are you going to
it?"
defend it?
And how am I going to defend that to the trainer? Because see, the trainers fall under CTE too. They are in our sports med program. So, I'm going, wait a minute, how are we going to justify this? And these kids over here provide the meal for the team before the games. And we don't pay them. There's a lot of unsung heroes in it that
We're
don't
gonna have
get
that
paid.
too.
So, that's
really
why
good-
I chose not to pay. We chose not to pay them. I say I. My
Okay.
principal, the meeting we had consisted of my principal, my superintendent, director of facilities, Mr. Choate, the athletic director, and myself. The 5 of us were in a room. And
You had an in with this choke guy.
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
No, a lot of times he votes against me.
Oh, okay.
He probably would have paid him.
Oh, okay.
He probably would have paid him. He's one of those.
But that's so healthy. That sounds like a great team that you guys can
Yeah,
get
we-
together and really talk through the issue.
Well, we had, and I don't know how y'all's dealings with Daktronics. Ours went very smoothly. However, with TVCC in the mix, there were things that TVCC was getting told, and we were getting told differently. And so we really wanted to sit down. And the TVCC head coach was supposed to be at the meeting with us, but he didn't show up.
What is that? I'm not.
Trinity Valley Community College. It's our
Oh,
community
oh,
college,
okay.
and they have a contract with the school that they use our facilities on the Saturdays.
I see.
And since the video board was going to be there, they wanted us to do the production. And but they also have, let's back up. They wanted to do the production because they have a production studio in their building also. But that meant that they were going to come in and use all of our equipment and not have any. And they're not real good about making sure everything's back the way we want it over there. Really the worst part is the other team uses one of our locker rooms and it's destroyed on a regular basis. But in worrying about the equipment that we had a monetary investment in, we weren't willing to give up our production to them. That's why we had that, and that's why we paid the kids to come in on Saturday. They may choose to do it differently next year.
Okay.
I don't know. They may let TVCC production kids do a little bit more, but we weren't comfortable with that this year.
Okay.
Tell me, if you would, about, you said that you had paid professional staff. How do you handle that? What are the decisions that you've made to handle? You said you had 3 people who were paid professional staff.
We originally started out with 2. Our athletic director said, you know, you can't do it with 2, you're going to have 3. And he chose to pay the 3rd person also. The person that stays in here and tells the kids where to go, what to do, and is kind of directing the whole thing, we pay them $100 a night to come in and do $100 a game to come in and do that.
So it's a flat fee.
Yes, and then the person that's on the field running around gets paid $100, and then the secondary person that's here, that's just kind of a support person, is $80 a night.
Okay.
So that's just a flat fee. Check see if he was telling me something. Just a flat fee that we set up.
Just add it on as a stipend.
Yes, it is. It's added on to our next paycheck.
Sure.
I turn in all the information.
Okay, makes sense. Okay, so this is not really where they're creating. They're just
But it really, they don't need to see.
No, you don't have to see it. You don't have to see it.
Because everything's being fed into you. You're just in a remote location mixing.
Right, exactly.
And such. Okay.
Makes sense. It's like backstage on theater.
The vendor that we're using, guy's name is Aaron something.
Aaron, I have his number in here.
It's
Yes.
Dektronics.
Yeah.
Well, he's not Dektronics. Aaron's not Dektronics.
What are we
Aaron,
using?
He's something else.
Aaron is our person that did the production studio down there. Aaron Comer. And that is Aaron Comer. Aaron Comer.
I don't know.
Tall, dark-headed guy.
A year ago, I was told we need get some students ready to produce commercials to go on the scoreboard. 3 weeks ago, I was told, oh, you're in charge of this whole package.
Yeah,
we need you to tell us what we need to buy, what we don't need to buy, and we need this done yesterday. And so then I said, a few days ago, Aaron, where is somebody else that's doing this? And he said, you.
Yes,
so that's
now, let me tell you,
sort of how I got in contact with you.
That's fine. That's fine. Daktronics did our commercials for us. Now, I will tell you that Mr. Jones, my teaching partner in the ag department, is a very technology guru. He can do it all. And he actually took some of them that he didn't like, and he edited them a little bit on his own and made them look better.
Yeah.
And but they provided any commercial that went through, since it was the contract deal for 5 years that the people that paid get the commercials. Any commercial that came through, Daktronics had to approve, and then they emailed to us, and we downloaded to our computer. And we weren't allowed to add any commercials of our own until we could prove that we would do the commercials that they sent us. And to be very honest, it was not easy to get the commercials they sent us all done in a game. It's one of those things that to get everything done that the contract requires, and I can show you that little piece of paper when we get down there.
Have you seen the contract?
No, I haven't. None of this is all news to me.
Well, you want to know when we learned it? August.
Well, we're ahead of the game. That's really good.
If you're learning this now, you're way ahead of the game, because we figured this out in August.
Okay.
And Jeff and I spent the whole month of August getting everything in here ready for that first game. In fact, we did not even have the cable going from that box to the scoreboard in August. When we learned how to use this, it wasn't hooked up to a scoreboard yet.
Bless you.
We have a $25 million stadium that is opening August 23rd, and
I would like to see the progress on it, because now our Daktronics guy was also the person opening the Allen Stadium the weekend before ours.
Mercy.
So we were definitely second fiddle.
Yeah.
We were definitely. He was really good. He was really good, because we didn't change our stadium. All we did was put up a new scoreboard.
Wow.
And so Allen was going to be his big. But I mean, we were definitely second fiddle, but he did take care of us. He made sure we knew what we were doing. And he was here the first night, and I can't think of his name to save my life. Jeff could probably say it off the top of his head, because he talked to him. And when we first started our first 2 games, I would have him on the phone asking him questions while we were running back and forth. Wonderful. That's a lot. The first game he was here, first half, and he told me what we needed to change, what we needed to what we needed to do to make it better. So the second half of the game, we kind of made a few changes, and the second game we did that, and he was just on phone call. I mean, he was on call with us. He was actually in Allen at their second game, watching their second game. And I wanted to go up and watch a game in Allen just so I could kind of see it, but it never worked out for me to get there. But he was really good. They were really good about making sure we felt secure. There's a support you can call at any time to get to Daktronics, and they can tell you what to do if something's not working. Our scoreboard went completely blank. Not the scoreboard, the video board. Don't get those confused, because our scoreboard is controlled up there still. The video board is all we're in charge of.
That's a good point.
And
you understand that they're two totally. Now, are you the Arts AV teacher?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So you're the one that understands all this and
yes,
kind of gets all this. Okay. Okay. Good, because And I told our teacher that y'all were coming, and she said, "Okay, you can show them around." She's just not real secure with everything, and so. But this is Daktronics, and it can. This is what completely, and we keep them completely separated, because our cameras for our video production studio are mounted on tripods, and so we don't. We can intermingle, but we don't very much.
Okay.
We try not to. And plus, you know, this is
Makes sense.
athletic/CTE. That's all CTE. So we kind of keep them pretty separate.
What did you buy, or what was purchased that you go, we never use it?
Athens ISD in this room?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Okay. What did you not purchase that you wish that you had?
This room we weren't given any options on. This room Daktronics put together for us and told us what we needed. Now, there are some little parts of the cameras that you, and I hadn't even thought about that, I'm glad you asked that question, that we probably need to order extras of and keep, and it's actually not parts of the camera, it's the cable, you know, to go from the cable into the box.
Right.
That little connector that, when we had an inventory sheet in each of our boxes, and I don't know if they're still here, but when the video team would take the box out, they had to check out their box and check it back in, because 9 times out of 10 when they brought it back, there were parts of it missing, you know, things that were supposed to be in here that weren't. And so they had to check it out and with an inventory and check it back in. And this little gadget right there, tons of them. We had tons, almost every game we had to send somebody back to go get that, because it goes from the camera to the box, and when you pull it apart, that just pulls off. Okay. And you leave that there, and then that's gone the next Friday when you go get it. That little piece right there is what probably should keep a few extra ones of those on hand. Yeah. So
okay.
It's kind of like the mount on those tripods.
Yeah, the foot.
It comes off with the camera.
Yeah. The foot.
Yes, exactly. Because these all have a tripod. Here's our tripods that go with these that go over there, and they all have a tripod. One thing I would add to this room, and I hope I can either add it this year or they can add it next year when they start school, is a monopod for the field camera. Because those poor kids holding that field camera get exhausted. We had one, and it broke.
Okay.
We had one, to be honest, we had one we found in the stands. Cleaning up after a game, there was a monopod sitting in the stands after a TVCC game. So the kids, I wasn't even here that weekend, they grabbed it and they put it in here and we used it, then it broke. Which may have been why it was left in the stands anyway, it may have been broken.
Right.
You know, but that's one thing that you would need for your field crew, because that poor little camera, that camera gets heavy.
Sure.
Our field crew always consisted of 3 kids, because you had to have the grip to control all these wires, the person holding the camera. And then I always, when I was the field production person, stood with the field camera crew most of the time that the game was going on, because they have no idea where that football is or who's fixing to come across that line. Sure. And I mean, there's numerous times that I pushed them out of the way. One Saturday, I was here, but I was not being paid. I was in my room working. Somebody else was doing the jobs, and they left the field crew, and we had 2 little girls that were tackled with the camera by a TVCC player. He felt so bad. He was so cute, because he came over there and picked them up and, "Are y'all okay? Are y'all okay?" One of them got a big old gash on her head. Luckily, her daddy was a coach and was there. And but you know, those kind of things that you got to kind of yeah, those kind of happen. But that monopod for those, because if you don't have a pretty stout boy out there on the field, that camera gets heavy.
That
camera gets very heavy.
Definitely. That makes sense. And what about the coolers?
Well, we realized that you're putting kids on the field and at the top of the stands, and they're not allowed to leave their stations.
Right.
Culinary Arts feeds everybody that works the game prior to the game, but then they needed to take something, and I would buy them candy bars to go in the coolers also, because, you know, in August and September, you're dying of heat. So before the game, put water in it, fill up with ice. Every crew, and we even have one that stays in this room, because you can't leave. You can't go get something.
Right.
So one stays in this crew. We put water and Gatorades to make sure they stay hydrated.
That's fantastic.
The first time first week we did a tab at the concession stand, and I would go get food. Oh my gosh, I could fill up I bought the coolers and filled them up with water, and for the next game, and for the next 3 games on what we spent at the concession stand one night.
Yeah.
Of course, we did support the athletic department very well that night.
I know.
Tell me about, okay, you have the walkie-talkies. Are they, then is there a headset that comes into them, or is it?
Yes, both of our headsets have been borrowed by and not returned by our administrative team at the high school. Our high school administrative team has has a walkie-talkie with them at all times, and each receptionist does, so they can kind of keep up. And then on Friday nights, we are hooked in. They are still hooked in as administrators, but the 3 adults that do this are hooked in just so we can talk back and forth. And they can say, hey, Sandra, camera 2 is just really not doing well at the top. Can you go check on them? And so I go up and check, say, guys, they're because, you know, they can communicate through the comms. They have headphones with a microphone that they can communicate with people sitting here. The person operating the camera can. But these people may be saying, are y'all watching the game? Are y'all watching the game? And, oh yeah, we are. Oh yeah, we are. And I look up there and there's 3 boys up there talking to a group of girls. You know, you kind of have to just monitor them. And so they'll come over and say, hey, Sandra, can you go up? And then we have one walkie-talkie that we leave in the press box with the guy doing the actual scoreboard. And that's because he doesn't need to announce over our commercials. And so our person sitting here will tell the press box when we're going to do a commercial and when not to make an announcement over the top of the commercial.
So it's just verbal?
Just a verbal
schedule?
Yes, we do have a written schedule for every game.
Okay.
I can show you that also.
Yeah.
But just to make sure we know what's going on, and just so that they kind of know what's going on, because
makes sense.
Mo is the guy that keeps the thing, and he's even got a headphone that he put on. We originally just had it sitting there, but as I said, I'm a big football fan, and I have one of the microphones. I have one of them, and when I tell this room something, I'm usually pretty excited. And so Mo said, I'm going to put a headphone on because it's kind of loud here when you get excited all the time. So he has a headphone on all the time, listening to what we're doing.
That's fantastic.
But it works. It worked really well last year.
You can coordinate better.
Yeah. There's just communication between the adults, because all the communication over the comms with the cameras with kids. That's all the kids. They run everything.
Yeah, but do you have a comm? Somebody, an adult? No adult has the comm.
No adult has the true communications through the cameras and through the system. We have the walkie-talkies.
I mean, how do you know what they're communicating about? I mean, I know that you're getting the job done.
Well, because the whole purpose, the true purpose of the comms on the cameras is for the director to say, panning to camera 2, going to camera 1. Field camera, be ready. They're queuing, and so that's their main purpose. Now, occasionally, one of our teachers will grab the microphone and say, "Hey, camera 2, can you get a good shot sometime?" You know, or something like that. But normally, they'll call me and say, "Sandra, camera 2 is getting no good shots. Can you run up to the top and see what's going on?" So the communication on the actual production is happening between the cameras and the director that's in the student director that's in this room. And so we try to leave the comms on them.
Okay.
And then the let's help them figure it out communications are between the adults, and we use the walkie-talkies for that. Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. It is, and it's just kind of, and we had to occasionally get on to a teacher for scolding a student over the comms because all the other students hear that.
Yeah.
And
there's protocols for that.
Yes, and we had to establish some of that. You don't think about it, but then something's happening, you're aggravated, you grab that comm and you say something, and then afterwards realize it's kind of like yelling at the whole class. Everybody heard it.
Email to all.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I didn't mean that.
And so we kind of had a conversation amongst the adults because again, you're in a situation we've never been in before. And whenever you need to scold a student for something you think they're doing wrong, tell the person that's on the field, tell the adult on the field, and let them go do it one-on-one. Don't do it over the comms because other kids hear it, and
it's ineffective. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and that's just some of the stuff you have to learn.
That's
and
awesome.
But of course, nobody else knows that happens.
I know.
Outside, everybody thinks that it goes real smoothly and it's all easy.
Unless you do theater.
And
then it's the same thing.
True.
You're all back there doing the same thing.
Yes.
Yes. Right.
Okay. So the monopod.
That's the only thing I would add. We added the coolers and the water.
And the monopod.
If you're going to have kids on, anybody, adults or kids, and Alan does everything with volunteer adults or adults.
Okay.
They don't have a kid program that does theirs. From what they told us at the beginning of the school year, because they were quite shocked we were going to have kids do everything.
Oh, that's such a shame.
And so they have adults, but it's kind of a bigger production. So,
Well,
but they have
still.
adults. But
Yeah.
we wanted it to be a kid
You're
production, and we wanted. There's a whole
That's
class for this
amazing.
next year. I don't know what they're going to do in the spring,
Awesome.
but they our advanced audiovisual production is going to be targeted for this
Fantastic. I applaud
class.
you.
This
There's no
class.
other reason to have it, in my opinion.
No, the kids have to do
Like,
it. If
really?
you know, and it's
That is
12
not
kids
for
a weekend.
adults.
It's 12 kids a weekend. We bought them all a shirt that says Athens ISD production team, production
That's
crew. It's really cool.
awesome.
It's really cool.
Yeah, we've given them business cards with her phone number.
I'm communication director, so we're trying to figure out our structure.
Yes,
So
yes.
this is really helpful.
And that stays locked. The only person that has a key to it is supposed to be me. Right now, our arts AV teacher has it because something was going on. I wasn't going to be here. She got it from me. I was going to worry about getting it back. We have 3 monitors in the hallway here and 1 in the front office right there. This is our annex, and this end of our annex is the CTE department. We have education and training in this. Business is a computer lab right down there. The first 2 doors on the right. And then from this room that way is our arts AV lab.
So this is CTE.
This is all CTE from the 2 doors that are open right there that you see coming this way. From that point this way, not this way, this
Yeah, I got it.
is all career and technical education.
Oh, yes.
From that point, that direction is our early college high school program.
Yeah, I saw the sign.
And so this is kind of like the extra stuff in this building. Now, of course, all that is core, but it's AP, pre-AP core because it's early college high school. They can't do anything else. Now, this is our computer lab that we utilize to prepare commercials and stuff for our lab. I'll show you the lab first, and we'll come back to the computer.
Do you have any going into the main building?
We're working on that.
That's
We're
the
working.
plans? That's in the plans.
Everything okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And is this connected through an intranet?
I'm
Or is
about
this
to head to TVCC.
broadcast on the internet?
Did you not get a sub?
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Hood's going to be
We're
our
working it
sub?
out. Miss Bell's not back, but
Well, she's not supposed to be back till 2.
I know, but there is an oversight on timing AM, PM, and all that.
Well, Mr. Jones' sub also is in his room. Of course, nobody's in my room right now.
We're good. Mine are going over to y'all's lab. If you, are you?
Yeah, I'm gonna be around there. They're going down.
Unlock it, 5th period.
5th period.
She'll be in there with you.
I'll be there. Okay, now this is what Aaron Comer put together for us.
Okay?
This is the production studio, and like I said, I cannot tell you everything that goes into it near as well as Jeff can, but you can do everything as it's set up. I mean, they've done commercials. We've done. We had an open house where the people came through and we were producing the video that was being fed into the monitors outside, and we were asking, what is your favorite thing about being in school? Just, questions like that. And everything that happens in here through the little box can be fed into the AV room next across the hallway. Okay. Like if she's doing a demonstration in there, in here, it can be shown in there also. One of our challenges is that the classroom is not connected to the studio, and so when she has a large class, not everybody can fit in here, of course. And so she has a problem.
The one across the hall, you mean?
Yes. That's one of her biggest challenges, is she doesn't feel like she can bring the student out, and then whenever everybody's off. Yes, there is a shade that will pull down. There's a dark shade.
Yeah, that's, oh, there it is, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense, because you gotta have more control. of
You
the
can
light.
do a
I like
light.
this option.
You can do a. Well, this was our former superintendent's vision.
Wow.
He wanted a learning plaza where he actually wanted a door going out
The garage door?
there. No, a door going out into this area that would come into this part of this building.
Yeah.
But when we got down to the final design of it and we would lose a classroom, we chose not to do that. But he wanted it to where you could see what was going on in here. However, you can't video with all this open because, of course, we tried to explain that to them. But it's really pretty. It'll have the lights. And then you can also, you can do an out in the shop. And you can do this. Now, what I would change here, I'll tell you. it just stops.
Right, you need a
and
sweep.
your camera doesn't just stop. You
Right.
need that
Sweep.
that sweeper. And we priced one, and it never got to the point that she gave me a PO to get it done.
Okay.
It's going to have to get bought because you need one of those.
Can't just
Right.
paint.
You probably could,
I know it wouldn't be
but
ideal, but
the recommendation was to get a
Sure.
sweeper, so we need to purchase one of those, and it just never did happen. So, and the other thing, everything can be done in this production studio without anything else. There's what do you call them?
Teleprompters.
Teleprompters. There's a computer to do the teleprompters. There's a computer to do
this is so exciting.
everything that you need to control the lights, everything.
So great.
But she wanted Easy News. It's a software, $10,000 software, just to make it easier.
Yeah, content
And-
management system probably.
Yeah, and I didn't get it because I was afraid that if I got that, the next person came in would want something different. And
Just need to play.
since she never actually came over here and utilized the equipment, I didn't feel comfortable
you gotta have
purchasing
someone
something
invested.
that right.
Yeah.
And so we opted to get her. Now she has Adobe. We got Adobe Premiere.
Oh, that's good.
And some other editing software for her computers in her classroom that would go for all 26 spots.
Did you compare what was going on in the industry to try to build that career path, or did you build something in that was?
A little bit of both. We talked to some industry people and built some of it from industry. Adobe Premiere was the one that most everybody talked about. It's kind of like trying to figure out what you're going to use in our engineering lab.
That's right.
But Adobe Premiere was what she felt comfortable with when we looked at it and what she wanted. Now the Easy News is what like SFA and some of those other schools, bigger schools
So
are using.
transitioning to a college
Yes.
environment, Easy News would work.
Easy News would work. And also, if I'm not mistaken, there's a couple of TV stations that actually use it. Small TV stations. So it probably would be a really good choice, but I was just really scared
I
to
get it.
pull that trigger without knowing that she was going to be, because a business person can teach the first level of this, but they can't teach above that. So we had to hire somebody new. We've known since day one. We would have to hire somebody to keep this going.
Is there a certification process? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, yes. It's an IT certification, or TE. I don't know, I'm hiring a woodshop teacher and a arts AV teacher before I leave.
Okay.
And it depends on their work experience. I think both certifications can be the same industrial arts, or no, industrial technology or technology education, but their work experience determines which shop I put them in. I can put them in, so.
That's great.
I've learned a lot this year.
How long have you served in CTE?
3 years.
That's great.
So it's in my 3rd year as CTE director. I served for 5 years as an officer in the VATAT, our Ag Teachers Association,
Right.
and through that, and I served on a couple of committees through TEA, and through that learned a lot. And so they said, okay, you need to be the CTE director.
That's great.
And the first year gave me a class period. The second year gave me a stipend and took the class period away. And I still have the stipend, but now I have 175 students a day plus student CTE director, and I'm just like, okay, I
would
gotta
be
breathe.
looking. I agree. That's
I wasn't
much.
looking. I wasn't looking.
No. But I
But-
mean, seriously, to do your job,
To feel like I did it
cannot
well,
imagine
it was-
how much
it was
you're
difficult.
Resources, and that's time.
That's really amazing.
But it's been really neat to watch this grow. I mean,
This
we
is
have
exciting.
tons of
It's
support
really-
from our administration, tons of support from our school board, and they've decided that, kids have to be prepared to go into the real world now. I'm so glad that they don't think they just need to be prepared to take a test. Our school board and our
right.
superintendent, our
I
administration.
think it's shifting. The pendulum's finally swinging a little closer to seeing that.
Now that's the control. There's also a control back here that I'm going to show you. I don't know
Okay.
exactly what it does.
We don't have any windows in your studio.
Correct. Yeah. So that's.
Now, do you already have a studio?
Yes, it's under construction right now. They just put in the suspended ceiling, which I said, that we don't need to do that. And they said, okay, and they continue to do that. I said, we don't need to do that.
No.
Like this. Did
It's a suspended ceiling like that.
Yeah,
I
it's
know,
like
but
this.
you're
You
saying
don't
you
need
want
it. You need
this.
a
I want
slide.
this, yeah,
So
and I
did
said,
you
don't
need
even
to
put this in,
photograph
and they
it?
said, no, it's on the order, we have to put this in.
Now,
Take it out later.
who's your architect?
PBK.
Well, I'll
PBK is your architect?
yeah.
I'll call Wayne. He should not be
Wayne
putting.
is exactly the
Wayne
one.
Renaud is putting a ceiling in your room.
Oh, that's ridiculous. They're not communicating then.
I know.
Who's your
We'll push it.
contractor? RPR?
It's
It's not RPR. It's out of Tyler.
Gallagher.
Gallagher. See, our contractor was, and with my husband being the director of operations over all facilities and construction,
better.
I had very good communications.
So
And
Tony can do
Wayne,
that for you.
Wayne
I know.
and what's the guy's name that's with him now?
Well, the guy that's with
Steve.
us.
Wayne and Steve
Yeah.
designed this. And so Steve, I can't believe they would put a suspended ceiling in.
Okay, we're gonna tell him.
I would,
I brought it up several times, but that's so low on their priority list that it's like, okay, we can deal with that later. They had some guy, they said, put in a suspended ceiling everywhere, and he did. And, okay, it just now needs to be undone. That, it's a very, I know, but
yeah,
it's,
I know you know, but no, Wayne, I feel quite sure.
I have other battles I want to fight right now.
Yeah, I understand you got to get it prioritized, but I cannot imagine.
Your curtains. What are you doing with the curtains?
Not really sure.
Backdrop is probably.
So it's just
you get an option, and then you can colorize those with your lights, and you can make any kind of color background. I would say that's what they're doing.
Okay.
It's a theater piece. I mean.
All right.
Whoa.
I honestly don't know the purpose of the curtains. Since you have the blackout stuff on the sides, I really don't know the purpose of the curtains.
It just gives texture.
But now,
yeah, it softens it.
Yeah, I guess so. But I don't.
Yeah, but with the green wall, you could put anything you wanted.
You can soften anything. You can make any color, anything. It's amazing. I didn't know how you
get a curtain.
How the green wall does things. It just does anything you want.
But if you're gonna dress it up like an office interview, sitting down and looking, that would look like.
And now on this setup that we got, there's also they showed Jeff how to get to some backdrops where you have like a newsroom setting for the green screen. And all you're doing, you have a chair out there. You're sitting in a chair, but it looks like a newsroom because you've got the green screen on.
Right.
And then they insisted on having a makeup room that had the bright lights.
Very good.
So here we go. With the monitor so you know what's happening in the production room.
Okay.
So,
well, it's like theater. That's very good.
It is like theater in that whole.
Something that we don't have, but that's okay.
And then this is the control area. Back here, there's a separate server. Is that the right word? Am I using the right word? I'm an ag
It
person.
depends on what it is. Probably it's a server.
Here's all of our extra stuff.
For your archiving, right? Or just
Well, just to control the computer system.
Yeah.
And basically, this has ended up to be the control for the CTE department this part of the world because I want to say it controls those computers over there that I'm fixing to show you, that classroom.
Right.
And, excuse me, all that.
Okay.
So
it's just a rack room.
yeah, there you go. And it feels like it needs to be cooler.
Yes.
We need to ask about this. This is a really great idea. If there's not one, I mean, you've got people getting ready for your productions. I mean, that's the vision. If you're going beyond football stadium, you're gonna have
So now, is y'all's football and this connected? Are they going to be in the same room?
No, they're 10 miles apart.
Oh well, okay.
yeah, not even as close as yours.
I don't know. Miss Skelton will be back. This is our Arts AV computer lab, where they can. Y'all are fine. Y'all are fine.
No, we're not.
Oh, you're not supposed to be in here right now?
We're leaving.
Here,
now.
we caught you.
She's got
on
he's
camera.
got you on camera now. You're in trouble, Ryan.
Yeah.
Oh no. And I'll explain the Macs versus the PCs. We started with Arts AV 2 years ago. No, that's a lie. Our journalism department, journalism, CTE journalism wanted, and I'm really not sure how Peems coded that. I've got to still figuring that one out right now. But they wanted a Mac lab. Our last superintendent was a big Mac guy. And he wanted, since most of the journalism stuff is done on Macs, he wanted our kids to get experience with Macs. So we did. And we had that lab across over here in this other room. And then when we did this renovation, and we had this room that could hold so many computers, and we only had half the Macs, we were debating on whether to get more Macs or to go with some PCs that they could integrate over there, because everything over there is PC driven. So we opted for the PC side of the lab so that when they work with something initially, they can automatically go to the next computer and have to have no conversions or confusion. Then when they get better, as they advance, they can use the Macs, have more options to do things with, and then so that's why we have a PC and Mac lab.
I like the mix.
So,
yeah, it's a great idea.
That's finding printers that can do both and stuff that can do both is a challenge, but we've done it, and so it's set up. So
that's the real world, though. It's very good.
So this is the lab, and again, she has everything she can do in here can be everything that goes on over there can be done over here.
Okay.
And now she has a Mac on her desk. I didn't realize she'd moved one of the Macs to her desk. Cool. Good deal. That helps her. She didn't feel comfortable with Mac, so I guess she got it in there so that she could work with it.
Okay.
And she normally has tables. They didn't bring y'all's tables back.
Did they take them?
Yes, they borrowed your tables last night. My fault. I'll go find them. I wish you would have told me. Hey. I don't know where they'll be though. Down in the auditorium. Are you in her class now, Miss Skelton? Or are you in this? No, you're in mine. Take a couple of guys and go see. I hate to give you my keys. Go see if Miss Skelton's tables are down there in the auditorium for the NHS induction last night, and get her tables back to her.
Okay.
Because she needs her tables to teach class.
Take Lance.
Take Lance and so.
This is really interesting. Do you have this? Or is that just him?
No, everybody has that. Everybody has one of those. They do one for us. For every class, every teacher. We turn in our information and our librarian does that. So. And then and that's the arts AP. That's what.
Okay.
Any more questions that you can think of? Any?
No, this has actually been far more helpful than I was expecting. Because you've also talked with us about logistical things and coordinating. And
yes.
I was my focus today was on equipment.
It's facilities and equipment.
Yeah, what'd you buy that you go, you never use it? And
Yeah.
what did you not get? And so that was, but also how you handled and managed dealing with paying students, not paying students.
Yeah.
Those are all issues that I have to deal with, and it was helpful to hear what you did. You didn't change my mind. I still think that I need to have.
We're using them for testing for Monday.
Oh, so she knows where they are. Good. I was feeling bad because I thought of me getting them and go out and they didn't bring them back, but they did bring them back. Excuse me. Well, and please do keep my email. If anything else comes up that you think, let me ask her that question. I can get it answered if Ms. Skelton and I, or Mr. Jones can answer it. Mr. Choate can help us answer it. I mean,
okay.
And we can find out an answer. I don't know that we ordered anything that we haven't, or put anything in here that we haven't used.
Okay.
Or that we need extra, other than.
Aaron gave us a list of about $250,000 worth of stuff we needed. And the directive that I got was go through the list and prioritize it. What do you have to have? What would you like to have? What can you live without? And so I have to prioritize a list based on Aaron's recommendation.
Now I wasn't in on that side of it. If you have questions about that, Mr. Choate is the one to talk to because he's the one that sat down with Aaron and Wayne and Steve and Tim, who is the RPR construction guy, and they went over this building 25 times. And so what we opted to put in is better, he could communicate that better to you. So if there's a list you want me to look at and see what we put in actually.
If you actually could just provide me with a list of what y'all bought.
I can get that from Barry. I mean,
that would be helpful.
Now, not till Tuesday because he won't be back from Canyon till Tuesday, but I can, I will make myself a note. I've got to open that room for you.
I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I'll be right there. I'll already be right there. But I can get that list to you. No problem of what. I'm sure it's what Wayne recommended and Aaron went over with him. And then they ended up putting in here. So I can tell you exactly what he put in here, whether it's exact same list you have or
if I could cross-reference that, because Aaron gave us the premium list.
I'm sure he did.
And because his job is to sell us everything.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
And I understand that. But now my job is to make the right decisions based on not enough information.
Well, I tell you, y'all are very lucky to have somebody that knows how to make those decisions because they were asking me, because we hadn't hired and still haven't hired an arts AV person that has actually done this in their business, in their job. And so I'm just going, okay, sounds good to me. You know, I don't know. And so we were kind of at their mercy. But I can find out exactly what we put in. I'll shoot Barry an email today so I don't forget. Of course, like I said, we won't get it until Tuesday.
Okay.
But he can look at our contracts and he still has all that information, I'm sure.
Okay.
And we can find that out.
That piece of information would be very helpful.
Okay.
I just need the document. I hope he can release that to me.
I'm sure he can make a scan of that page. The whole document probably not. But yeah, he can probably give you a scan of the page that has the arts AV equipment that we purchased on there.
Yeah,
And that we put
that's
in.
what I need.
I'm sure he
You
can.
know, because
And if he says, no, I can't, or if our superintendent tells him he can't, then I'll let you know. But I don't foresee Blake telling Barry he
Okay.
can't do that. But
All right.
I think it'll be
Thank you
good.
so much for your time
Oh,
today.
no problem.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
y'all.
I
appreciate that. Thank you.
For coming. And like I said, if you need anything, just give me a call. You have my cell number, which isn't
Yes.
changing even when I leave.
Yeah.
And I will still have connections here. So just if you end up wanting to come back in August or in the summer, can't find anybody else to get a hold of, give me a call and I'll make sure I get y'all in touch with the right person, whoever we've hired to come into this spot, or whoever our new CTE director is, which I'm hoping. My husband taught ag with me for 12 years, and he had CTE director. They wanted to take it away from him, give him more time for construction, so they gave it to me. And I'm hoping it just bounces back to him because he knows it, he can do it. I don't know if y'all have ever had a CTE director that doesn't know what they're doing. We've had many of them in Athens. You lose money in Perkins, you lose money with kids, with contact hours, you lose money,
Our current
period.
one really cleaned it up, and it's true.
So, and you
lose a
don't,
lot.
once you get it cleaned up, you don't want it to go back.
Exactly.
Because it's a lot of work.
I
So,
agree.
I'm hoping they give it back to him, we'll keep it clean, and we can definitely get you some contacts on who to talk to.
Okay.
But no, whether they give it to him or somebody else, I can give you the contact. So just
Okay.
keep my cell phone and let me know.
Thank you.
No problem.
Awesome.
Okay.
one,
I know what time.
Will you do me a huge favor? What time what?
What time Miss Mazel's leaving?
I didn't know Miss Mazel was going anywhere. We go open that computer lab in my building for Miss Hood and bring my keys back. Thank you, Tyrell.
if we wanted to hire one of your more mature, well-trained students to come work with our students, do you have anybody in mind?
Yeah, there's about 3 that I wouldn't have traded. You know, I said each crew had a crew of 12, so that leaves 9 that you're just going with. But we had 3 pretty solid girls,
Okay,
and
here's my dilemma.
uh-huh.
We don't even take custody of this new stadium until July. August 23rd.
Is your first
We
day.
are having a grand
Opening.
of this. I have a group of students that are basically trained,
Yes.
but I have to pull them together this summer, hire them. I've said, no, if we're gonna have these guys come to a class in the
Summertime.
summer, we will hire them
Uh-huh.
to learn this, because we didn't provide that for them in the classroom. But I'm now looking for, how can I get maybe some other people who come in and say, this is what we've done. Because you learn more through conversation.
Yes.
And so.
And also the equipment, if it's
Yeah.
similar equipment.
And so, you know, could we hire
Yeah, there'll be
them to
a-
come over and work with, and I right now, a group of guys.
Yeah.
You know, and so I'm looking for some,
Well, I'll get with Jeff. Like I said, I was the one on the field, and now we had 2 awesome field camera kids. Awesome. That to talk to them about how to do the field. Excuse me, field camera. Do you need to go, Miss Mazel? Go ahead. To do the field camera thing, and yes, we have some really good kids. Now, this production room is the room that I said we had girls in. We had 3 girls that wanted in the production room every night. They didn't want to be out in the elements. They wanted to be in the production room. And there was 2 of those that did really well. So yeah, we could probably put together a crew of 2 or 3 to come over and just have a conversation with your kids and a little workshop
or
something.
what if we came here?
Oh, you could come here. Yeah, that'd be fine.
Or see-
Oh, that would be
equipment.
easy because
That'd
if
be
it's the
better.
same equipment, then you could actually train. And I'm saying all this, I won't be here in July, but you could actually train on it. Now, I will say that probably your best connection for y'all coming here in July, is going to be to talk to either Miss Skelton, who has a new grandbaby, or my teaching partner, Mr. Jones, and they're both planning on being here next year. But in July, he has the FFA convention and the Ag Teachers Conference, so there's 2 weeks he's out.
Okay.
And then with her new grandbaby, I don't know what and she's not 12-month, he's a 12-month teacher, so he'll be at school all summer.
Okay.
Without problems, and could easily say, yeah, y'all come, and then we could get kids to show up, and we'll
Is
check with
May
kids.
an
But,
option? Do you know who's going to be there this month?
well, it doesn't matter, no.
I mean, why
Right.
not? Look for a bus.
Right,
bring them
look
during school
for
year.
that opportunity, and that opportunity may exist, but at this point, was just to open the door on that
Yeah,
to see.
yeah, and anytime between now and in the beginning of August, if you wanted to come let them look at it, and even maybe run a program through it. Did you want to walk down and see the book, the production book that has what you have to do, what we were told by Electronics we have to do, each game and any of that, or you just want to wait?
Sure.
That
Oh,
later?
let's.
And you'll have to excuse my room, because like I said, I'm fixing to have 35 kids sitting in there.
Okay,
and I haven't
let's do
been
it.
sitting there, so they're just kind of there. They're just kind of
Let's
there.
go there. Yeah.
But your sphere of influence is there.
This is my advanced animal science class, so it's almost all seniors, just a few little juniors in there. And so my bet would be that they're playing dominoes and cards, since I'm not standing there.
Strategic mind
And
activities.
yes, exactly.
Firing synapses.
Exactly.
Love that.
And so,
When thinking about ag, just curious, personal question. I mean, should I go on?
the majority of we have a rural ag department in Athens. We do not have the majority of our kids actually living on a farm or going into production agriculture.
Yeah.
But of course, I'm very prejudiced. The leadership skills, all the information we use
Sure it does.
is wonderful. Probably our two most used or most transferable skills are culinary arts department and our health science department. We have an awesome health science department also.
Well, we should take a trip and see that.
Oh yeah, I can take y'all back down there. Not a problem.
We should bring those.
Yes, Brandon? Well, no, yesterday y'all wanted to go to culinary, and today you want him to come out of culinary.
She's not here today.
Oh, that's true, she's not. It may not be a bad idea to have Brandon.
Sonny, come in.
Yeah, go ahead and tell Brandon to come over. Oh, no. Oh, my God.
Let's go.
Yes.
Would you mind
Is that the production? Yes. Now, this is the instructions that Daktronics actually gave us on how to, on our control system, startup procedures. They'll give you that. And I can scan and email any of these documents to you.
No, they're supposed to provide us with
Yeah,
it.
they will
but
provide you with
I didn't even know to ask for this.
And we didn't either. They just gave it to us.
Yeah, oh, you're opening tomorrow night. Here's your book.
Yeah,
Hey, guys, remember, I don't want to hear them. Stephen, what do you, oh, never mind, it's lunch. Okay. Is all this in your record book? All this needs to be in your record book.
That was from church, but you can find it. Because I didn't go to church to get it.
Okay. All this, all that needs to be in your record book. Tanner's been working on hers this morning. Miss Jones, are you missing somebody? Yeah, you're missing Cody, aren't you? Me? Cody and Lawyer.
May we be in here, please? There's a large line.
Would you be mad at us if we played Vegas?
What? Do they need to be doing something for you? A video for entertainment or a video for the lesson? They can stay. If you don't mind, they can stay. Okay.
I know you love me.
No, but I'd rather B have to get on to you than Miss Jones.
Oh, that's not fun.
Yeah. Pardon?
I have another one to come play cards. Who is Jason?
Jason Bergeron?
Yeah.
Okay. Now this is the little, they will give you this sheet of paper right here, that sheet of paper right there. They provide that. And this is the game day, what you have to do each day. And I don't know why it says Bob Elder. Elder Dodge has to have an animated program twice in the pre-game.
These are all
first half.
donors.
These are the commercials. Yes, these are the donors, and the commercials you have to play for them. And then during the game, first half you're going to have, first downs. Every time you do a first down, it's got to be a Texas Farm Bureau first down. You know, you hear those little announcements. You don't realize that that's all demanded. And then, of course, the second half is on the back side. Oh, nope, it's here. 2 pages. And we have one student. This is documentation that you're taking care of your contract. So we have one student assigned to taking care of this with one teacher looking over their shoulder almost constantly.
Because it's
to make sure.
Restriction. I get it.
And then this is what they...
I know.
This is what they look like kind of filled out. This was a TVCC game. We were not under contract for TVCC games. Miss Skelton actually kept all of our documentation for our home games because she's the arts AV teacher. She's the one that's supposed to be in charge of it. So she actually kept all that. But like the game she wasn't here for TVCC, I would keep up with for her. So you kind of see it. This is a script. that I made up. I can email you the script we have,
Yes.
and then that'll save you time making one.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Now, Daktronics
Template.
will give you a template that you can go in, and they did us, but it's a college game. So I found that there were a lot of changes, and so I changed it quite a bit.
And now to it pretty closely.
Yes.
Just change out the.
Just changed out like NCAA, UIL.
Yeah.
But there was just some stuff that we didn't need, and it was just little things. And now the person you have to coordinate with this is whoever does your current pregame script for athletics, because Miss Brandon, you know, if you come in here, you have to take that off. Our secretary in our athletic department did the pregame script, so she and I would email back and forth. This is one of the control things I didn't give up, because pregame to me was the script was real important. So I insisted on me doing it, not giving it to a kid. Now next year when we have a class where somebody's monitoring everything that's going on, and we've done it for a year, they'll give it to a kid. Yes. Yeah, but this year, you know, you only do 5 home games. There's only actually 5 home, and so you know, you got one the first time's a trial, and one. It's hard to train somebody for the next 5.
Absolutely.
So I kind of kept control of that, and she and I would email back and forth to make sure we had it all straight. And I can get you a script, but it has to tell you exactly when. And there's one. That's the women's basketball.
And did you incorporate this system into any other?
No, we did not in any other sports. As we told the kids, the video board couldn't go anywhere else, so it had to kind of stay there. I'll just have this is the template that they gave us for women's basketball. And it was a college women's basketball, Auburn, of course. And this is what I used to make my template. It actually looks like this. I took her, this, yes, and went to there. So I can email that to you, no problem. But it's really not that bad, but yet last year in August I was about to pull my hair out talking about something.
I didn't hear it.
Looking back, it went really well, you know.
Because you built a system.
Yeah, and we did. So it was. Whoever has the laser can put it up now. I keep seeing it on that wall. Thank you. Great. So, anything else?
My brain is full.
I know.
So,
That's great.
Well, whenever it works out for you to bring students over, feel free to give me a call, and we'll make those arrangements, whether it's May, June, July.
Okay.
We'll make that work.
That might, you know,
And
those details will need to be worked out, but at least we're receptive to discussing that. Okay.
Anytime. Anything to make it a little easier on y'all. And now Daktronics may tell you that crazy woman in Athens, you don't want to deal with her, so they may tell you. But I can't even think of his name. He was the greatest guy ever to call and let us talk to him and fix things for us. He's really good. Our contact with Daktronics is really good.
Okay.
So, yeah, it was about a week before the game when they realized that their technology, no, it was not, they had scheduled a training with us in early August. And we kept thinking, you know, with Barry doing the facilities, he was like, are they ever going to hook up the video board? And they thought it had been done, but apparently there had been a guy in their organization that had an issue, and he didn't come to work. And so they thought we were all hooked up, and when they got here to do the training, realized that nothing was connected. And Barry had been emailing the guy that was out of work, telling him nothing's connected, we have training on this day, nothing's connected. And then when the guys got here that day, they were like, we were just supposed to come in and train, and y'all aren't ready to be trained. So they worked for 2 days getting stuff together and rescheduled our training until the next week, which was like the second week in August. Wow. So we were panicking. Right. But they're going to turn it over to you about the same time frame, it sounds like, because you're going to not get in there until the beginning of August, and then you have to do a production.
Oh, grand opening of a $25 million stadium.
Yeah, and ours is just the scoreboard. Y'all you have a little more going there. So, yes, anything we can do to make you feel more confident and more comfortable, please.
That's why I'm not arguing about the ceiling right now.
Yeah, good point.
You know,
Good
that's
point.
a battle we'll take up later.
And it can come down later.
Yeah.
Give me 2 students and it's down.
It's down. Right. Yeah, I understand
Give them
that.
a rake and a hoe and it's down.
I understand.
Love it.
Okay.
Sandra, thank you.
No problem. I'm supposed to walk y'all out, so let me walk with y'all. This fun security issues we have. Looks like about half my class is gone. That makes it kind of nice. We have 3 groups out doing community service within the community today, juniors and seniors. 1 group out learning how to be linemen for our Trinity Valley Electric Co-op.
Oh, wow.
And so I figured we'd have quite a few out, but I didn't realize it'd be half my class.
So you have Fulton's poster up in your classroom about everything I needed to know. I learned it.
One of my favorite mentors, I started teaching in Mahia. I taught science for 4 years in Mahia, and one of my favorite mentors in Mahia gave me that poster when I started teaching 24 years ago.
Wow.
And so it has gone with me everywhere I go. She's not leaving yet?
I'm at 7th period.
Okay. Y'all going to Dallas tonight? She has our theater teacher has an awesome setup with Dallas, and I'm not sure which theater it is in Dallas. They get to go to productions. I want to say it's 6 a year. And it's just like, oh, y'all wanted to see the health science? Here's our, and I don't know, it looks like it might be a little bit, there's a person laying in the bed, so don't jump when you go in me. Yeah. And this is our health science department. It's set up like a real hospital room with bathroom and everything so that they can do the whole 9 yards. We just had 20 kids, 16 students do CNA certification. Unfortunately, we had quite a few that were not successful, so we're fixing to remediate, but they have tons of opportunity to practice. So hopefully they'll...
Do you have any agreements with the local clinics or?
No, no, our agreement currently with the community college helps us get certification. And they're the ones that have all the agreements with everybody. And so we haven't expanded it yet. Now we do have 2 students that got CNA certified last year, and for their co-op job are working at nursing home this year. And so since they have the certification, they can do a few more things and make a little more money.
Yeah.
So it worked out well.
That is good. That's really the way high schools have got to move.
While we're here, would y'all like to see culinary arts?
You can take a look?
Sure.
It's up to y'all. I mean, y'all may not have anything to do with the rest of CTE, but we're kind of proud of our little setup we have going.
Absolutely. We can always get ideas. I need to take them back to the new house.
Well, when we were doing the first phase of this renovation, I guess the first phase came in 3 years ago when they took CTE away from Berry and we were starting major construction projects. We decided, we were trying to decide between culinary arts and cosmetology because both of them we felt would be something that students could use after high school. And with TVCC having a cosmetology department and the amount of money you have to put into a building to put a cosmetology thing in, we just opted, our business computer lab is right down here. We have a separate business computer lab. But we just decided culinary arts, and we had this empty cafeteria that wasn't being used.
Gosh, that's logical.
We went to get, this is our business computer lab.
Business education.
She has 32, about 30, I guess, computers.
Future business leaders, that's good. Do they do DECA as well?
No, we don't have a DECA. We need a DECA.
That's taken off really big time.
Is it?
With our group.
It has?
They have done well.
Well, our FBLA is doing awesome, but we haven't had a DECA. And I tried to get, and I'm not real sure what, I think it's Skills USA.
Yes.
That would go with Arts AV.
Yes.
But again, having a business teacher that's just getting us started, foot in the door, she didn't get real big into that. And so
you just got a plan.
yes. But we did have enough. We were very excited. We had enough students in our CTE department that our business manager allowed us to add 2 FTEs this year. So we got to hire a 3rd ag teacher and a 2nd Arts AV person. So we don't lose Miss Skelton as a business Arts AV person. But we do get enough. She's not here today. I think she took a personal day.
That's great.
She came. This is everything. Yes. Now she does events in here.
Yeah, this is.
Or she'll come to you. We have all the stuff for her to take it to you also. Wow. She does weddings. She did a beautiful, awesome wedding in October, I believe, maybe in December. It was in the fall. Oh, it was beautiful. But we We renovated a old elementary kitchen, or actually this was the high school years and years and years and years ago.
56.
And we renovated, yeah, we renovated it, and,
Last night, Joe. They were about something last night.
okay. And we went in and put a commercial, we took out everything and put in a true commercial kitchen for them to practice with.
That's part of the same bond.
I mean, it's just, you know, you have to put in fryers because they can't have fryers, they can't have, you know, in a cafeteria they can't have all this stuff. So they put in all the fryers.
What are y'all cooking? Smells good.
Yes.
Sausage. That's how you say it in English?
I wasn't sure, that's why I was like, yeah.
I guess they finished all the work. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
So this was the cafeteria for the entire high school?
In 1956.
And high school and junior high?
And junior high, yes.
Yeah.
And then we built the new high school, which became the junior high. And then it became an elementary school, pre-K. And this wing over here that is now CTE was a